All right, let's talk about the upper sum and the lower sum by going through one of the homework problem. All right, so I do not want to spoil your fun of going through this problem, so I'll only do when n equals 4 here. All right, so you have a function which is the f of x equals 2x 2 plus sine of x, right? Going from 0 to pi, right? Then we have 4, I'm going to do when n equals 4. So we chop into 4 equal subintervals, right? So we want to find the upper sum and the lower sum, right? So what we do is it's not the left point or right point or midpoint. We actually pick the highest point to determine the height of the approximating rectangle, right? So for example, right, so if you want to find the upper sum, then you would have to do, let's see, here, right? So upper sum is, let's see, which one is the upper sum? Looks like the lighter color is going to be the upper sum, right? So upper sum is going to be something like this. Let's look at the second one, right? So first interval, right? So look for the highest function value, which is actually happens to be the right endpoint, and use that to determine the height, right? For the second one, again, the right endpoint gives you the highest point, right? Then the third one is actually left endpoint gives you the highest value here, and the fourth one is the same way. Left endpoint gives you the highest one. So these the taller rectangles will give you the upper sum. Right, lower sum, over this interval, you pick the lowest point. You can see that here, this is the lowest, so we use the left endpoint. And same thing here, lowest point on this interval is at the left endpoint. And the third rectangle is actually lowest point at the right endpoint. Same thing with the fourth rectangle, right? So picture would be this guy right here, right? Then if you want to compute the upper sum, so what you need to do is you need to plug in pi over 4 for first one, pi over 2 for the second one, and again pi over 2 for the third one, and 3 pi over 4 for the last one, right? So I'm going to actually just grab this picture so that we can actually compute it. So here, so we'll grab this picture. All right, so let's compute it on GeoGebra here. All right, so the function is, I'm going to type in f of x is equal to 2 plus sine of x. All right, so hit enter. All right, we have the function. All right, for the upper sum, I'm going to call it the u sub 4. All right, and maybe, let's see, yeah, u sub 4 is fine, and is equal to. All right, so what we need to do is we need to, for the first rectangle, we need to plug in pi over 4 because it's higher there. And the second interval, second rectangle, we're going to use pi over 2. All right, third rectangle, it's actually pi over 2 again. And the last rectangle, we're going to use 3 pi over 4. All right, then the width is going to be pi over 4, so we're going to multiply by pi over 4. All right, then we're going to hit enter. All right, or actually we did, oh sorry. All right, so I put everything capital, so that messed it up. All right, so I have to, let's see. All right, okay. All right, so I have to change that to lowercase f. All right, and this is going to be just the lowercase pi and the f and pi f pi there. All right, so let's hit enter. All right, so again, I'm going to go to option rounding, and maybe it's again it's a 4 decimal places, I guessing. All right, so let's actually go back there, and they want oh actually 2 decimal places. Okay, I didn't need that. So you can see that the upper sum is going to be 8.96. Right, so let's type it in. Right, so this is going to be 8.96. Right, then if you want to compute the lower sum, right, so what we need to do is this lower sum. So I'm gonna let's see, I'm gonna call it LS4. I think is equal to, right, because L4 is a left sum, so lower sum here, and LS4 is going to be, sorry, it's a bad naming, and we're going to use the right endpoint. So you have f of 0 for the first one, and f of pi over 4 for the second one, f of, now the third one you're going to use the 3 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, and the last one is f of pi, right? Then we're going to multiply by the width is same, pi over 4, right? Hit enter, right? So it came out to be 7.39. So I'm going to just type it in, 7.39, right? So let's check the, oh, actually, sorry, I put it in the wrong place. So this is for N2, right? So it was here, right? 7.39. What was the other one? It was 8.96. So upper sum is 8.96. Right? So let's check the answer. Oops. Right? Submit for testing. Alright, it came back, and we got the upper sum and the lower sum correctly for n equals 4. And I believe that you can do n equals 2 case. This is a little easier because you have only 2 rectangles. And this one is a little tedious because you have 8 rectangles, but you should be able to handle it. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.